GenAI, can it think like human? Can it reason?
The golden test for intelligence is the Turing test. It's the idea that has been introduced more than 70 years ago, which is quite simple. Can a machine mislead the investigator into believing that he's talking to a human and not to a machine? Well, today's large language models can easily beat that test. Now, the question is if that makes them intelligent or not. There are very many other benchmarks that are out there, and some of them those machine easily beats. For example, it can take US MLE test, which is a test for becoming a doctor in US. It can score very highly on GRE tests. At the same time, it can make very, very simple and silly mistakes, and we all have seen that if we tried ChatGPT. So the jury is still out there, but there is common belief that this is a really strong statistical model that has a lot of information embedded. In fact, famously, Jan LeCun said that the amount of memory compensates for the weak logic abilities of these models.
Some critics of GenAI just say it's a stochastic parrot. What do they mean exactly?
It actually came from a paper published several years ago by one of the Google researchers, this term, and kind of a stick. But what they're trying to say is it's stochastic, and it is true. So the model, in fact, is just trying to predict the next word using for that distribution of the words that it learned from the large corpora of data. And so it's a random process, sampling from the distribution, and so it is stochastic. Why they call it parrot? To just emphasize that the model is missing any logical abilities and, again, just generating tokens one at a time in autoregressive manner. So, it is in some sense stochastic parrot. But at the same time, we are observing a lot of very interesting abilities of these models, quite unexpected. And so I think it's a bit of misleading to call it just a stochastic parrot.
It's an interesting debate among experts, but stochastic parrot or not, what's the impact for business?
For business, it really doesn't matter. As long as the algorithms can do their job, as long as we can, from somewhat unreliable parts, unreliable algorithm, build reliable systems that solve business problems. It really doesn't matter if those algorithms actually can think or not. Now, of course, it's important for the future, it's important for the futurists, it's important for the future application, but as of today, if they work, they work.